Doji Shaji Rezondro, Jinjamado, Doji Bonjom Basar Jalombo Tabra Jibago, Shaji Jabujat, Gujan Zar, Dorchin Janja, the Lo Narutam, Bamala, Chuji Kambo Ba, Pamo Traba Javan, Gongba, Kajulama Namjeda, Jonje, Danandana, Zeratam Jeda. Lama la ba la ye ji so so la so yong den jam zang a la wa tin zhe tong jin zhe ba ge le zo da ge lo chu son zhe wa sin jie la de so ro chu lam zhen zhe wa sin jie la de so ro lang zhe wa xie wa sin jie la de so zhe wa yi yu zhen jia wa sin jie la de so gang ge den jian zhe wa ren jiong ga ma me ba jie me ba qi ba me ba da me ba wang me ba zhuo me ba ta de dong me dong jie me 这把你学习点吧，做不上节嘛难节，当把的老乡在耳朵，真情在问了嘛句句，古松多节心浪得的，大概就浪不的，大概点吧当瞬间就东家就帮着，不是瞬间老多说。Actually, dear Dharma brothers and sisters, it is very virtuous our being together here to practice Dharma, especially as we are learning about Bodhicitta. Whether we are Bodhisattva or not, all our activities are Buddha's activities. Because Bodhicitta is Buddha's heart teaching. If any of you are not Buddhist, still you need Bodhicitta. If you are not a practitioner of religion, still Bodhicitta is necessary for your life. For my side, if I cannot give you great benefit through this teaching, if you only understand Bodhicitta, then I feel satisfied. And until now, I taught verse 41. So today I'm going to start from verse 42. Verse 42 says, without arrogance, when things go well, not depressed when times are hard, unharmed able by anything, this Bodhicitta gold. When you listen to the Dharma teaching, you often hear of mother sentient beings, and perhaps you have not paid attention or giving much importance to these mother sentient beings. Perhaps you always have a big question about all mother sentient beings. How could they all have been my mother? Perhaps you already understand that they all have been your mother, and you are grateful to them. Anyhow, there is a special method to raise your Bodhicitta, which is first thinking all sentient beings have been your mother, and then you remember their kindness. After that, you will be able to arouse the feeling of wanting to repay their kindness. From this feeling, mm, after that, you will be able to, from this feeling comes a sense of closeness, which is heartwarming love. From this mind, compassion grows. Compassion gives birth to pure motivation. From the pure motivation arises boundless Bodhicitta. The essence of your life is love. Love is born from encountering sentient beings. So all the sentient beings are mother of your life. We can learn about the kindness of mother's love from animals. For example, the cows give birth to their calves with hardship. When they give birth, they stand up, they lie down, and move around different directions. This is not them play games. It shows their suffering and pain. I have a question for you. Have you ever thought just once, oh, I caused my mother pain when she gave birth to me? But after they give birth, they don't blame the calves for their suffering. Instead, they lick the calf's body and then they give it milk. Sometimes they fight predators to protect their babies. Sometimes they can, but sometimes they lost their lives too. So in this way, cows demonstrate a mother's kindness. And also with birds, there are some birds that nest higher in the mountain rocks, but go to the ocean in order to catch fish. Sometimes it seems that they travel a very long way to the water and stay there long time before they are able to catch a fish. If they ate the fish there and travel back, they would be able to do it safely. But thinking of their babies, they fly back with fish in order to feed them. Then other birds attack them to get the fish. So they face fear and danger. Sometimes they are harmed, sometimes injured, and sometimes die. But they dedicate their lives to their babies. And predators, usually they kill other animals, but they take off their offspring. So in this life, whoever was born from the mother, the vast majority were taking care of their babies. As human beings, we have a human life. This condition depends on our parents, especially as Buddhist. We say we have precious human life. This condition also depends on our parents. The precious human life is the fundamental condition for attaining Buddhahood. Bodhicitta is the principle of factor necessary for attaining Buddhahood. We think Bodhicitta arises from our minds. But in reality, it grows from encountering mother sentient beings. So mother sentient beings are supports for reaching higher realm and eventually Buddhahood. So thinking in this way, Even if someone pays you money and tells you to stop thinking of the kindness of mothers, you would not be able to do it. Some of you may think, oh, mother beings are so kind that if we worked our entire lives, still we would not be able to repay their kindness. But don't worry, it is possible to repay their kindness. First, you think of their great kindness and then generate Bodhicitta. In this way, you can help mother sentient beings. It's like someone has lost their way and is walking in the middle of the night. Suddenly, you turn on a flashlight and they can find their way. This is example the power of Bodhicitta. Next is verse 49. 40. Oh, I read. Oh, yes. 48. That's I read, yeah, page number. Sorry. 48. I already explained. So I will read 48. Bodhicitta comes from knowing that all have served at once mother, from recollecting and repaying their kindness, from love, from compassion, and from surprising attention. It is the source of happiness and benefit for oneself and others. Sorry, I used two numbers together, page number and the verse number. So, okay, so now 49, verse 49. A learned monk, a holder of settled accomplishments, even in possession of an analytic intellect, yet without Bodhicitta, who would aspire to that? Okay, the sun has two qualities, which are light and warmth. Therefore, it nurtures Mother Earth. Similarly, if educated people have wisdom and bodhicitta, then they nurture mother sentient beings. If the sun only produced light, right, then it could only benefit the earth in certain ways. Likewise, if educated people have only knowledge, it could help to some extent. The sun, the sun's warmth, the sun's warmth benefits myriad, myriad, myriad plants and living beings. Therefore, if your knowledge is combined with Bodhicitta, its power to beneficial is endless. Right now, people mainly focus only on their education. This is very important, but at the same time, we have to develop bodhicitta and compassion. This is very important. As Buddhists, we respect Buddha and his teachings for their preciousness and their most valuable aspect is bodhicitta. Because from his bodhicitta we receive blessings that allow us to travel the path. As Dharma practitioners, we must practice Dharma with bodhicitta, whether our practice is for ourselves or for others. But when we just work on things besides Dharma, still bodhicitta is necessary. For instance, if you are driving a car, then bodhicitta helps you to be patient when you hit traffic. During the traffic jam, sometimes you do not know what caused it, but just because you cannot drive forward, then you are angry. But that anger is useless, because that anger does not have the power to restore the flow of traffic. This anger only has the power to fill you to the brim with unhappiness. But bodhicitta prevents it from doing so. If you are a doctor, you need bodhicitta. Because when you treat patients, the power of your bodhicitta gives them great benefit. And many patients welcome to you for help. In this way, your income will grow. If you are a kindergarten teacher, then I think you have a wonderful opportunity to make a positive imprint on the minds of your children. For example, reading to children even before they can understand words. Teach them to associate books with love and affection. So, for as long as there is space and time, bodhicitta and compassion are very important. Next is verse 50. Verse 50. Bodhicitta gets rid of nastiness. Bodhicitta banishes suffering. Bodhicitta frees one from fear. Bodhicitta stops bad conduct. All harm, suffering, and fear, these unnecessary things can come from a lack of bodhicitta. For example, cold wind, frozen water, and frozen ground. All these things come in the winter. The flowers, green grass, rainbows, and fruit. These come during the summer. The winter and summer rely on the seasons. Likewise, harm and non-violence, suffering, and happiness, bad conduct and good conduct, this depends on what grows in your mind. Infuse your mind with bodhicitta, then all these good qualities will grow from due to bodhicitta. The process of cultivating bodhicitta does not only purify negative motivations, it prevents them from entering your mind. And also, bodhicitta banishes suffering, and you can have experienced this for yourself through practice bodhicitta. At least when you give rise to bodhicitta, your mind is not observed in gross suffering. And bodhicitta frees one from fear. For example, when you give a public talk in front of a large number of people, sometimes it is possible to get nervous. But at that time, if you think, oh, these are my sisters and brothers, and may my talk benefit them. This is a practice of bodhicitta, and it can diminish your nervousness. The Buddha said, if you protect one life through your bodhicitta, even if you do not expect it to result in your having a long life, it will. It's just like remove boundless, boulders, remove boulders and dirt that block the flow of a river. As soon as they are removed, the river follows on freely. Uh, one does not have to lead the river forward. On the other hand, harming others' life creates creates obstacles to longevity. So protecting others' lives removes obstacles to your long life. This is the karmic system. But you don't need to go out and protect lives. Simply having bodhicitta automatically does so. What is bodhicitta? It is the cause of Buddhahood. How does it cause Buddhahood? Bodhicitta means joyfully thinking of others. And there are countless others. Then the mind of bodhicitta automatically becomes vast, and the joy in your mind greatly expands. Bodhicitta is the cause of becoming a Buddha. How? The Buddhahood is the transformation of the egoistic mind. The egoistic mind is sad, discontent, narrow, and obscured. These attributes cannot be the cause of Buddhahood. For example, poisonous seeds cannot grow into medical plants. Bodhicitta is joyful, contented, open, and clear. It is this quality that give rise to omniscience, power, and love. We have to transform our minds into mind of bodhicitta, and then bodhicitta transforms our minds into these qualities of a Buddha. Okay. Next verse is 51, right? Sometimes I 51. Mm, What is as dependable as Bodhicitta? What is as courageous as Bodhicitta? What is as confident as Bodhicitta? What is as peaceful as Bodhicitta? Okay, we'll see. They're all questions. All Buddhas, all Buddhists, all Buddhists take refuge vows because we trust in the three jewels. Since they never betray. Because the essence of the three jewels is bodhicitta. In worldly life, the vast majority of parents do not deceive their children. This is because of their love. But this love is still limited. The love of bodhicitta, however, is limitless. Therefore, it will always be there to rely upon. As this verse says, there is nothing more courageous than bodhicitta. If we analyze our mind in this way, first, our desire is pretty strong. But however strong it is, it does not conceive of possessing all mother sentient beings. But bodhicitta can and does conceive of liberating all mother sentient beings. Our anger is pretty strong. But however strong it is, it only thinks of destroying one's enemies. But bodhicitta has the courage to destroy the suffering of all mother sentient beings. Also, there's nothing more confident than bodhicitta. Because bodhicitta is grounded in truth. And whatever activities we pursue, whether mundane or in the Dharma, if we have truth, then we are confident. But there are two specific things to notice. One is that certain people, often spiritual masters and deeply rooted in and have the confidence of profound spiritual practice, but they remain humble. One should not misunderstand and think that they are lacking mastery and confidence. The second, there are some who act with pride, so don't mistake it for confidence. Bodhicitta is the source of the state of peace. Among all mother thinking beings, whoever has bodhicitta, their minds have peace. So for whoever would like to work for world peace, practicing bodhicitta is fundamental. Fundamental. Even if you would just like to lead your family peacefully, you should practice bodhicitta. Because not everyone in your family is harmonious all the time. So you will need courage, confidence, in open mind, and altruism. All of these rely on bodhicitta. If you are going to fight with your own anger, sadness, depression, and what is called hypersensitive, right? Hypersensitive sensitivity, then bodhicitta is essential. Yet another important aspect, having a long and healthy life, is also has a lot to do with bodhicitta, because your mind is the most influential factor over your health. For example, plants will live longer and be more healthy is depending on amounts the water they receive. Having a pet means you need to give it food and water. At the same time, it is also very important to have bodhicitta. Okay. Next, verse 52. 52, yeah. 52? Right? Yeah. 52. There are many verses, and oh, good. This is 52, yes. And I am right. My grasping. If one has bodhicitta as one's motivation, whatever one does also become a great vastness of good. From the medicinal root that cures disease, the medicinal shoots are born. Okay, let me drink water. I am plant. Oh, thank you. Okay. Uh, Buddhism has three vehicles. Three vehicles. Uh, Buddha taught these three vehicles step by step. It is like updating a phone or computer. In the first vehicle, the Buddha said, "Don't harm, don't harm others. Uh, respect the law of karma, and so on." In the second vehicle, Buddha said, "Only refraining from harm is not enough. We also need to help others through body, speech, and mind, and liberate them from samsara." Samsara. In third vehicle, Buddha said, "You should lead them to enlightenment in one life." So then Buddha taught us those methods. But all of these vehicles are, it's quite hard. Fueled, 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 thank you, fueled by Bodhicitta. It is like you have made a medicine using different substances, but in it you have mixed the energy of recovering others from their sickness. Even if you recite a single mantra or meditate 1 minute and uh, teach a single chapter, in the front of your mind should be Bodhicitta. Spiritual masters often say that when you practice idam deities, combine it with Bodhicitta. In the Tibetan tradition, it is said that, of course, Dharma practitioners need Bodhicitta, but also doctors and nurses need it as well in order to be able to help their patients. I think now we are moving in the direction of teaching more Bodhicitta. In the schools, retirement homes, kindergartens, mental health facilities. First, we need to understand why schools need to teach Bodhicitta. Because students are the future directors of their lives, their families, their countries, and their world. So if they have Bodhicitta in their mind, then they can lead all of these peacefully. Second, why did I say retirement homes need Bodhicitta? Because the people in them have more free time to explore their minds than we do. When we are younger, we have many responsibilities. So our minds are busy with these things. Those who are retired will suffer less if they have Bodhicitta, because it will be easier for them to dissolve their worries, even uh, if just their care caregiver care givers practice Bodhicitta, then they will uh, voluntarily take good care of the elderly. If, if we think carefully, it's not clear whether young or old uh, will die first. But those in their old age have only a few years left. It is possible to make them happy during these few years. How precious is that merit? Whether they trust Buddha or not, whether they trust karma or not, if you serve them kindly, then they will receive blessings through you. Perhaps they will think you are an emissary of Buddha. It is true, because your kindness and your good help and your actives of Buddha the helps and actives of the Buddha. Then I said kindergartens need Bodhicitta because the kids are immature people and like a very fresh soil. You can easily plant and deeply make an imprint in their minds. Even though the tips of cartoons you show them, their minds will be affected. If they watch cartoon full of fighting, they will be interested in that. If they see cartoons that are filled with peace and compassion, their minds will be turned to this. Not only their minds, but their bodies are like this. For example, if someone doesn't drink milk or eat meat since they are young, then if they try to do so as an adult, their body won't tolerate. If that is true for physical things, then we don't even need to mention how true that is for the mind. Those in mental healthy facilities also need bodhicitta Because bodhicitta is part of a happy mind. Mental illness is part of suffering. So this patient cannot recover only through medicine. Of course, they need medicine. At the same time, they need a happy mind. If people with mental problems are exposed to these two things, I think 90% of them will recover beautifully. Actually, why do we need religion now? Why do we need religion now? How have the heads religions become a sublime beings? Sublime, right? Sublime, yeah. Do you understand? Okay. They place everything on two simple words. They repeat only two simple words. This is their foundation. This is their ground potential. This is their advice. This is their final fruition. Can you guess what these two words are? Yes, these are love and compassion. In Buddhism, we say all Yidam deities are the same. How can this be? Especially, it says our minds and Yidam deities' minds are same. This is so only through compassion and love. For example, water in the north and water in the northeast are only different in their directions. The water itself is not different. So when we cultivate bodhicitta, our mind of love and their love are not different. We cannot have the same mind as the Yidam deities through our afflictive emotions. Because the Yidam deities' minds don't have afflictions. Bodhicitta is the antidote to our afflictions. For when bodhicitta arises, then they disappear. Anger, emotion, and bodhicitta cannot be together in our mind, right? If somebody say, if you can be that, can do together at the same time, they say they give some great gift, but we can't do it. Bodhicitta and bodhicitta is like a sunlight, and then angry emotion is in the night. So night and sunlight cannot be together. Same, it is same. So the Bodhicitta is the antidote to our afflictions, for when bodhicitta arises, they disappear. It is through bodhicitta that our minds become the same as Yidam deities. This is a very important. Your practitioners, Dharma friends, you often focus there. I think this is a very important. Often focus is very powerful. It has a great benefit. Only one time, two time, think about that, then it's very easy to forget. So actually over grasping activities, right? Activities in our mind continuously. Our bodhicitta and compassion works sometimes. So that's where right now we say samsara, we are in the samsara. If we work bodhicitta and compassion, then our grasping has no more opportunity to work within our life. So then we don't want to search Pure Land somewhere. Pure Land is in our mind. Yeah, this is quite important. Very important. Next is verse 53. Okay. This is quite hard for me. With bodhicitta, one achieves high starts. With bodhicitta, one achieves the highest good. For this reason, the story of bodhicitta graced the lips of the holy ones. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas speaking about bodhicitta, they wish all mother sentient beings will become enlightened. And bodhicitta is the best method they found. Why is bodhicitta is the best method? Because before attaining Buddhahood, we have to gain a precious human life. The precious human life means having every necessary factor for becoming a Buddha. So there are 18 freedoms and advantages. Each and every one is acquired through bodhicitta. According to Dharma way, bodhicitta means to purify afflictive emotions and collect loving kindness. But on the day-to-day level, it removes the suffering and restores happiness. If we try to buy it in the supermarket, we cannot. But we can get it from our own minds without pay a cent. I often say bodhicitta is a great meditation cave. If your mind meditates there, then all of your thoughts will be transformed into Bodhicitta. At least your thoughts will listen to you. When you say, "Don't bother me," they will not. Okay. Right now, our thoughts don't listen us, right? We say, "Please go away," even though during my meditation, but there comes many, it's like a running cats and dogs in our mind. So then we ask Bodhicitta, "Please tell them something." And then Bodhicitta has no mouth, but Bodhicitta's communication is his power. And then Bodhicitta radiates the light. And then thoughts of these fogginess or thoughts of these journeys just run away. After we try to find where are them, we cannot get them. So Bodhicitta is like that smart. Okay, the next is verse 54 and 55 together. Or we stop here. Maybe we keep going, right? Even in ordinary person gets called Bodhicitta, Bodhisattva. When Bodhicitta is produced and becomes an object of homage and devotion for gods and humans. Okay, next. 55. It seems to be one of the dimensions of Bodhicitta that the hardships of heat and cold, hunger and thirst, and so forth, that come when one does something to help others, do not get one down, but rather give one's spirit a boost. Yeah. Whether you are poor or have a loud status, right? Does not matter if you have Bodhicitta. You have already gained higher status and reach. If you have Bodhicitta, then gods and humans praise you, respect you and trust you, and offer to you. This shows us that you have a higher status. If your mind is filled with Bodhicitta, then your mind is like a precious treasure. Precious treasure. This means you are rich. Historically, many bodhisattvas, they underwent many hardships. It seems like they had a very difficult time, but they applied themselves joyfully because they were always thinking of others. Whenever they had the opportunity to help others, even if they could have a single moment to help others, they do it joyfully. Whether it was pleasant task or unpleasant. Even if they had to go to hell in order to help to others, they would go without hesitation. Right? They never expected for themselves to benefit. Some of them thought that there was no difference between themselves and others because they all wanted to be happy and didn't want suffering. Some 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 of them placed others before themselves. This is a very important thing. This is quite hard to put into the action, but we training with the mind, other before self, and then slowly we will gain. Okay, then next 56, verse 56. If one does not have Bodhicitta, one will not obtain non-abiding nirvana. If one does not obtain non-abiding nirvana, one will be impelled by the two chains. Impeded. Oh yes, impeded by the two chains. Let's see. As those verse says, if one does not have bodhicitta, one will not obtain non-abiding. One will not obtain non-abiding nirvana. If one does not obtain non-abiding nirvana, then one will not couch. Then one will be caught in two chains. The two chains are afflictive emotion and cognitive obscurations. The afflictive emotion is like anger, desire, pride, so on, grasping, and so on. The cognitive obscuration is very subtle. When we meditate vipassana, then we will see it. Okay, even with samsara activities, if there is no bodhicitta, then it is very difficult because all beings utilize their power to destroy others. There is a saying that is also quite hard for me. HAWK, hawk, one bird, right? Hawk kills others birds, and other birds kills insects. Fortunately, all thinking beings have a small amount of bodhicitta, which is love. Whether it is love of parents or couples love, the love between friends, or the children's love for their parents. Through these, they help each other and live in harmony. The Buddha saw that a small amount of love has this power, and then Buddha knew that this love has such a power that if it expands and grows vaster and vaster, it will lead to more harmony, and especially it can create pure light. Our Buddhists often pray and practice for rebirth in a pure light because pure light, there's no suffering. The reason is that the environment of a pure land appears as manifestation of bodhicitta. Those who live in the pure land are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If Pure Land is face, then when we angry, we shows one action. If we are happy, we shows one action. When we arise Bodhicitta, we can show one face. At that moment, that means I am happy. It communicates. I am happy, right? And then other people will say, oh, yes, it makes me happy too. So that means Pure Land is made by Bodhicitta. That's why whoever participate or whoever rebirth in Pure Land, it's automatically happy. Okay. Right now, in this world, why do we have suffering external and internally? External and internally. Because the external environment is manifestation of our ordinary mind, and those who live in it are filled with ego grasping. Okay, next 57 and 58 together briefly. Okay, Dharma wheel turning king, everybody knows that, right? Does not grace a dirty place. Bodhicitta does not exist in a waked mind. If you wish to produce the Supreme Bodhicitta, give importance to the purification of your own mind stem through the four opponents' power, not opponents' powers. And then 58. It is proper to set up the throne of Dharma wheel turning king in a place of vast prosperity. The spirit of Bodhicitta is produced as well in a mind of vast goodness. Very easy, right? Maybe I don't want to explain, but first let us go over the four powers. They can be explained in different orders. We will start with the power of regret, power of action as in antidote. Then power of resolve and power of support. If you are not familiar with these powers, you can find them in the video of my teaching on the 35 confessional Buddhas. Of course, the other else. In any case, you should be mindful that you have done wrong and regret it, and promise never to do it again. This is very important. If you purify non-virtues, then you will see that excellent Bodhicitta has always been there. Dharma wheel turning king means king of kings. King of kings. So only powerful kings can request his presence. The people cannot host him, even in their dreams. The spirit of Bodhicitta is produced as well in a mind of vast goodness. This means that we don't need to receive Bodhicitta from Buddhas, but that it is growing within your mind. Your good heart will grow into Bodhicitta. Your good motivation will transform into Bodhicitta. All of your practice will become the mind of Bodhicitta, because of the relationship between cause and effect and interdependence. But just to let you know, it doesn't happen by itself. It is on dependent your altruistic intention or motivation. So let us practice Bodhicitta. And thank you very much, all of you. And I deeply rejoice. Until now, I taught this uh, 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 jewel lamp press of Bodhicitta. It is, and then maybe we will. It has many verses, so then we will start another time, maybe. And thank you very much. Okay, just may every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all sickness that afflicts the living be instantly and permanently